Ah, what a nice fire. Stand back, Stick. I don't want you to get burned. Ah, hi, friends. We're back. Do not adjust your television screen. It is I, Gorp, and my friend, Stick. And we are here for another adventure in summer reading. Yeah! This is so great. I just love being back at the library. Oh, and I wanted to invite all of you to Camp LFPL this summer. Won't you join me? All you have to do is sign up. It's free. Read your books, and then you get to collect your prizes. Wow, isn't that going to be great, Stick? I know. Well, you know what? Nothing says camp like a camp song. So let's kick this adventure off with one of my favorites. You ready? And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3. We're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. I'm not scared. What a beautiful day. Oh, look. Some long, wavy grass. I can't go under it. Can't go over it. Gotta go through it. Swish, 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 swish. Stick! Oh, I'm sorry. I thought there was something in the grass. Well, anyway, put on your fanny pack, lace up your hiking boots, and grab some trail mix and marshmallows or pine cones, and let's go! Today at Camp LFPL, we're going to visit our friends at the Louisville Zoo. Will you join me? Let's go! Hiyo, friends. It's me, Gorp, and I'm here at the Louisville Zoo with my new friend, Mr. Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm all right. Can you tell me about your job here at the zoo? What do you do?
Yeah, I have a great job. I'm an animal curator here at the Louisville Zoo.
Oh, and what does that mean?
Basically, it means I take care of animals and everything from making sure they eat, get good, proper food to eat, and that they've got good habitats to live in.
Oh, I love that. I love to learn about new animals and habitats. So where are we right now?
We're at the Ringtailed Lemur exhibit.
Oh, the ringtail. I noticed that they have beautiful tails. Hey, Michael.
Yes.
Did you notice that I have a tail?
I did notice you have a tail.
Oh, check it out. I made it myself. I was trying to be like the lemurs.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, thanks, Michael.
So one thing that's kind of unique about ringtailed lemurs is they actually have 13 stripes on their tail. That's unique to this species.
Ah, that's hilarious. I forgot to put 13 rings on there, guys. It's not an official lemur tail, but it's at least a Gorp tail.
It's your unique tail.
Oh, thanks, Michael. What other things about lemurs should we know?
So lemurs, so first off, there's about 100 different kind of lemurs, believe it or not, in the whole extended family. So lemurs live mainly on an island called Madagascar, which is off the east coast of Africa.
Oh.
And to give you a reference, it's about the size, a little bit smaller in Texas or a little bit bigger in Spain. So it's the 4th largest island in the world, so it's pretty big.
Okay.
So these guys are what we call omnivores. So an omnivore is an animal that eats plants and vegetables and eats insects and some small bugs and things like that. So that's why they're called an omnivore. Most of them are arboreal, which means that they're they climb in trees. But these guys, you can kind of see behind me, tend to be more terrestrial. Of all the lemurs, they're a little more terrestrial, so they spend more of their time on the ground.
Oh, I like that. They can climb trees, they can be on the ground, they can eat bugs and plants. Those are my kind of people.
All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, this is great. I'm learning so much. Thanks, Michael.
So these are ring-tailed lemurs. Sometimes people refer to these as monkeys, and they are primates, but they're what we call a lesser primate, or prosimians. So they are related to gorillas, orangutans, other apes, and also other monkeys, but like I said, they're what we call a lesser primate. About 100 species, give or take, of these guys found in Madagascar. These guys actually have a gestation period of about 4.5 months, so about half the time of a human. That's a pretty long time for a smaller animal. They wean at about 6 months of age. Usually the moms will give birth to 1 and sometimes 2. Usually if they give birth to 2, it's because they had a real good food year. So if they're getting a lot of nutrition, the mom actually will use that, and they'll have sometimes twins. The females actually stay with the group. These guys are very social. They live in family groups, so they'll live out their whole existence within the family. The males will actually leave the the group sometimes and go to other groups, which spreads their genetic diversity. They live roughly about 18 to 20 years in a natural setting. But here at the zoo, we actually have 2 that are as old as 30 years old. So one benefit to an animal living in a zoo is you get regular checkups and health care. You get regular nutrition. You don't have to worry about things eating you. So you don't have to worry about predators. So a lot of times we see lifespans that sometimes can be almost doubled, like in the case of these lemurs. Currently here at the Louisville Zoo, we have 5 ring-tailed lemurs total. We have 3 out today. These are Hermes, Hawthorne, and Cedar. We also have Faust and Ivan, which are 30-year-olds. The gentlemen behind me here are all about 9 years of age. The plan would ultimately be to put these guys together. They live in social groups, so right now they're still getting to know each other inside. They get to see each other, but they don't actually spend time together directly due to their, they basically look at themselves as like 2 different groups. You can see in the habitat here that we have for them, this is a newly redesigned habitat. It has lots of climbing spaces. It actually has a hut that they can go into and get out of the rain, and there is some heat in there. So on a cool or cloudy days, it gives them an opportunity to thermoregulate or adjust their own heat. Unlike us, if we get a little cool, we throw on a sweater or jacket, these guys can just go up in that hut and they can get a little extra heat so they can control their heat range in the habitat. They do like to forage in here. They will spend time up top here. We actually see one right now that is scent marking. They do have scent glands on their wrists and on their neck and on their bottom. And so he was actually scent marking a log there. He's basically marking his territory. So if you have a puppy or dog at home, you've seen him do that. Sometimes when they pee on a spot, they're kind of doing the same thing. They're marking their territory. He's basically warning other groups of lemurs that come along. He's saying, hey, this is our place. This is where we like to hang out and where we eat and we hang out and climb and so on. So these lemurs live on the tropical island of Madagascar. Temperature stays up. And so these guys are a little more temperature sensitive than us. Ideally, we'd like for it to be 60 degrees or above for them to be out in this habitat. But they will come out as low as 40, but anything below 40 is a little cold for them. If you're visiting the zoo and you don't see the lemurs out and you check the weather, that could have something to do with it. You will find a lot of animals in the zoo have a different ranges of temperature. And as much as we want people to come and enjoy themselves, our #1 goal is to keep the animals healthy and to provide for their needs. So when you walk through the zoo, we have different temperature ranges for different animals. Obviously, you would think more about cold, but we do have some animals that most of them are going to be on the cold end, but things like a snow leopard or a polar bear are just on the opposite. They can only take so much heat and then they have to be cooled off. Here at the zoo, we do have air-conditioned spaces or heated spaces. So in the winter months when animals have to be inside, we can regulate their temperature. Sometimes they have choices where they can go in or out, and that allows them to regulate their own temperature, just like what the lemurs can do here with the hut. With lemurs being found on a relatively single space, several of the species of lemurs are threatened or endangered. There's about 17 species actually that are extinct, but a lot of that has to do with being found in one location, and as that island develops, their spaces are shrinking. The Louisville Zoo participates in many conservation efforts. We're proud partners with many organizations. That's one of our goals in AZA is to enhance these animals and their habitats and to work within SSPs. I'm actually wearing a shirt today of something I personally was involved with, which was the Paws for Australia, which was to help with the wildfires. We do have an Australian exhibit that you can visit here at the zoo where we have redneck wallabies and wallaroos. And when we open that back up soon, that's something that you can actually walk through and closely interact with those animals. Other than lemurs here at the Louisville Zoo, I work with a variety of animals from giraffes to zebras to Amur tigers to snow leopards, and they all have uniqueness in them as far as habitat, diet, and just daily management of those.
Oh, Michael, thanks so much for teaching me about the lemurs. I learned so much. There was Hermes, Hawthorne, and what was the last one's name?
Cedar.
Ah, Cedar. He's so good at climbing. Do you think they like my tail?
I think they like your tail. They were really eyeballing the blue there.
Oh, thanks, Michael. You're so nice. Come on down, friends, to the Louisville Zoo, and you can see Hermes, Hawthorne, and Cedar anytime. Hiyo, friends. It's me, Gorp, and I'm here with my new friend, Kyle. Kyle, so nice to meet you. Could you tell me what you do here at the zoo?
Well, it's nice to meet you too, Gorp.
Oh, thanks.
I am the PR and media manager here at the Louisville Zoo, and it's my favorite job. It's the best job in town.
Oh, wow. How did did you get such a cool job?
Well, I was in radio and in TV, and I love animals, and it came about, and it's the best job in town because I get to tell the best stories about how we can help animals.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Kyle. Could you tell me a little bit about the Cultural Pass?
Yes, so we're participating in the Cultural Pass, and our Cultural Pass day is Mondays. So if you have your Cultural Pass, Monday's the day to visit the zoo.
All right. I have so many Cultural Pass friends, but I'm so glad that the zoo's involved too. Thanks for doing this, Kyle.
Hey, no worries. We love having folks out.
You know, Kyle, I have a lot of friends that love the zoo so much, and they want to get involved. What can they do?
Well, conservation is super important to what we do here at the zoo, Gorp. We've got so many ways to get involved. We've got, first of all, just a trip to the zoo is a good way to be involved in conservation because 25 cents of your admission goes to conservation efforts. A portion of your membership goes to conservation efforts. So just being a member or visiting the zoo helps conservation. But in addition to that, everything we do is designed to sort of educate us about how the small things that we can do in our lives that add up every day on behalf of animals and our planet. So we are just here to talk about animals and their habitats and how we can help them in the wild, in the remnant wild.
Oh, Kyle, that is amazing. And speaking of animals, there's a really cute one behind us. What's his name again?
This is Fitz and Mickey. Fitz is our African elephant calf, and he's almost 2 years old now.
Oh, he's 2 years old. You gotta come to the zoo, guys, and see him. He's adorable. Oh, and Kyle, don't think I didn't notice those earrings. Those are very Gorp yellow.
They are, I knew you were coming, Gorp, so I wore them for you.
Oh, Kyle, I love you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Welcome to Camp LFPL, where you earn prizes by reading. Attention campers! Get ready to read! All you have to do to complete the summer reading program is read books! That's 10 books if you're in elementary school, 20 books if you're in preschool, or 6 books if you're in middle or high school. Read books and earn this Camp LFPL fanny pack! Campers can read physical books, ebooks, and listen to audiobooks. Don't forget to tell your friends about the books you read because they can be summer reading campers just like you. The library has thousands of books for you to choose from. Get outside this summer and bring along a book on your adventures. But you may want to watch your fishing pole a little closer than Bear did.
All kids who complete the summer reading program will receive passes and treats from these area businesses.
Learn more about the Louisville Free Public Library's summer reading program at lfpl.org/summerreading. Have a great summer and happy reading!
Choo-choo! All aboard to Camp Shanatuck! Oh, I'm on a train! Look at me! This is amazing! Good morning! It's me, Gorp! Oh, and my friend Sticks here. Oh, and I wanted to introduce you to a couple of my friends. This is Julia and Casey. Oh, so, Julia?
Yeah.
Where are we?
We are at the beautiful Camp Shanatuck in Bullitt County.
I thought so. This place is beautiful. The trees are so nice and the birds are singing. It's just such a nice place to come and relax. Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
What kind of activities can we do here?
We do archery, creek walking, swimming, hanging out with your friends.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Stick, did you hear that? I know. They can do creek walking. That's so much fun. So how do we get to come here? What do we do?
You can go online to www.gskentuckiana.org.
Or you can call 888-771-5170.
Okay, great. So get your parents to help you and you can come enroll and be at camp. This is going to be so much fun.
Come have some more fun.
What? Did someone say something about s'mores? Let's get some. Hey, it's me, Gorp, and
Jesse!
all right. I'm getting so hungry, Jesse. I was thinking about maybe making some s'mores. What do you think?
That sounds great. Do you know Girl Scouts invented s'mores?
What? No, I didn't know that fun fact.
Yep. Well, before we build s'mores, we need to build a fire.
Oh, you're right. We can't make a proper s'more without fire. Can you show me?
Sure. Let's go build one.
All right, let's do it.
Before we build a fire, we have to know what types of wood to use for the fire.
What's this type?
This right here, this is tinder. It's the very smallest little wood. This is what's going to help our fire start. So when we strike a match, this is going to catch super quickly and the fire is going to grow.
What about this one?
This one is kindling. So once our fire catches onto the tinder, it'll burn, but it won't burn very long. But if it catches onto the kindling, this is what's going to help the fire get really, really big and burn.
What about this type?
This right here, this is fuel. This is the really, really big logs. This is what's going to help our fire stay big and strong for a real long time so we can cook food over it. What are you doing in there, Stick? You're not fuel. Now that we've got all our sticks, now we can build our fire. But first, we have to make sure we're following all of the rules so that we stay safe.
When we start the fire, you want to make sure you have closed-toed shoes on, your hair pulled back, and no loose clothing.
And you can't forget the water. And when you light the fire, you step out of the circle.
And lastly, make sure that you don't make a fire any bigger than what you need it for. And make sure that you're only lighting fires in safe, designated areas. Also, watch for the weather. Make sure there's no fire alerts in your area about super dry weather. Now, let's build a fire. This right here, this is a lean-to structure. How this is built is you start with one big fuel log. Then, on the inside, you put a bunch of your little tinder as sort of like a bird's nest sort of shape to help start the fire and get the fire going. Then, on top of that, you put a bunch of kindling so that when the fire grows, it goes up and catches the kindling from underneath.
There we go. Oh.
Now if you'll fan it very gently. Alright, that's good. Because we've got some flames. Now that we've got our fire going, we can cook on it. But we want to make sure that we never leave a fire unattended. And when we're done cooking, we want to make sure that we put it out all the way before leaving the fire pit.
Okay, we did it. Now, Jesse, what were all the ingredients we needed to make the right kind of s'more?
So, to make a s'more, all you need are graham crackers, a bar of chocolate,
right,
and some marshmallows.
Got it. This looks perfect. Excuse me, I'm gonna try a bite. It's delicious. Thanks, Jesse.
No problem.
Hi, I'm Peter, a librarian with the Louisville Free Public Library, and I would like to share a story with you. Today's story comes from Africa and features a character named Anansi. Anansi appears in many folk tales from Africa. Sometimes Anansi appears as a spider. Sometimes Anansi appears as a man. And always Anansi is appearing to play tricks on people. And that's what happens in today's story. Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock. One day, Anansi was walking through the jungle, and he came across a strange rock covered in green moss. And he said to himself, "What a strange moss-covered rock!" Kapom! Down he fell senseless. He woke up an hour later, and he had a terrible headache. And he said to himself, "I don't know what happened. I remember I was walking through the jungle, and I came across this strange rock covered in moss. And I said to myself, what a strange moss-covered rock. Kapom! Down he fell again. This time when he woke up, he remembered what happened. He said to himself, this must be a magic rock. Every time someone sees it and says, what a they fall down senseless for an hour. I can use this to my advantage." So Anansi went walking through the jungle, and he came to the home of the lion. And the lion had a bunch of yams piled up on his porch. And Anansi loved the yams, but he was too lazy to dig them up himself. So he said, "Hello, lion. It's such a hot day. How would you like to go for a nice, cool walk in the jungle?" And the lion said, "I would love to." So Anansi and the lion went walking through the jungle, and Anansi took the lion to that special rock. And he said, "Lion, do you see what I see?" And the lion said, "Why, yes, Anansi. What a strange moss-covered rock." Kapom! Down the lion fell senseless, and Anansi ran to his house and took all his yams. An hour later, the lion woke up and had a terrible headache. And when he got home, he realized that all his yams were gone. Anansi went walking through the jungle, and he came to the home of the elephant. And the elephant had a bunch of bananas piled up on his porch, and Anansi loved bananas, but he was too lazy to pick them himself. So he said, "Elephant, it's such a hot day. How would you like to go for a nice, cool walk in the jungle?" And the elephant said, "What a capital idea!" And they went walking through the jungle, and Anansi took the elephant to that special rock. And Anansi said, "Elephant, do you see what I see?" And the elephant said, "Yes, what a strange moss-covered rock." Kapom! Down the elephant fell senseless. He woke up an hour later with a terrible headache. And when he got home, he realized all his bananas were gone because Anansi had taken them. Well, Anansi played this trick on all the animals in the jungle. He played it on the rhinoceros. He played it on the hippopotamus. He played it on the zebra. He played it on the giraffe. He played it on all the animals except one. Little bush deer all this time was watching from behind the leaves of the trees. And when she saw what Anansi was doing, she came up with a plan of her own. She went out and picked a bunch of coconuts and piled them on her porch because she knew that Anansi loved coconuts, but he was too lazy to pick them himself. So Anansi was walking through the jungle, and he came to the home of little bush deer, and his eyes popped open and his mouth started to water. And he said, "Oh, little bush deer, it's such a hot day. Would you like to go for a nice cool walk in the jungle?" And little bush deer said, "Sure, whatever you want, Anansi." So Anansi and little bush deer went walking through the jungle, and Anansi took little bush deer to that special rock. And he said, "Little bush deer, do you see what I see?" And little bush deer said, "No, I don't see anything, Anansi." And Anansi says, "You must see it. It's right there in front of you." And little bush deer said, "No, Anansi, I don't see anything in front of me." And Anansi said, "It's right there. Look real carefully where I'm pointing." And little bush deer says, "Oh, Anansi, you're not pointing at anything." Well, Anansi was beginning to get angry, and he says, "Oh, you see it all right. You just don't want to say it." And little bush deer said, "Say what?" And Anansi says, "You know." And little bush deer says, "No, Anansi, I honestly don't know. What is it that you want me to say?" And Anansi said, "I want you to say, what a strange moss-covered rock." Kapom! Down Anansi fell senseless. And little bush deer ran and told all the other animals about the trick that he had played on them. And they went to Anansi's house and gathered up all the food that he had taken. An hour later, Anansi woke up with a terrible headache. And when he got home, he found that all the food he had taken was gone, except for one single coconut. The rains come and the rivers flow. And that's the way the story goes.
Ah! You like my tail? Oh man, it looks great. Well, what a great day. Thanks so much to our friends from the Girl Scouts and the Louisville Zoo. We had so much fun. Oh, and thanks to Mr. Peter for that wonderful story. Stick, where are you? Where have you been all day? You missed everything. Oh, Stick. Well, complete the summer reading program to get all your prizes. And until our next adventure! I think I'm gonna keep this tail. I look great.
When I grew up, it was all about the books and stuff.
They have changed so much over the years.
And they have computers, like if you want to play and if you don't have a computer at home.
This is a great place for genealogy.
I think of the library as an investment in the community.
I definitely think libraries are still relevant.
It brings the community together.
It's a testament to our democracy.
What would we do without the library?
It's very cool.